I started writing when I was even in madrasa. I used to do poetry in madrasa. And then Dilshad one day goes to me, obviously know Dilshad, and he said to me, he goes, why don't you just move forward with it? Do some, Islamic stuff. And we'd have conversations. He'd call me even till today, he'll still call me 7 p.m. bang on. As soon as he finishes work, he'll call me and he'll have a conversation with me. He'll catch up with me, what's going to be plans for part 2, part 3 and everything, etc. Alhamdulillah, I've got a good team behind me. But that's the perks of going to madrasa was that as well. Learning, studying. Maybe I didn't finish it or graduate from that specific madrasa, but having that brotherhood and friendship with everyone was the main thing.
Bismillah. Bro, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair for coming through.
It's all good, bro. Pleasure to be here.
I've seen some of the, should we call it short movies, or what is it?
Short. It's like a short film, basically.
Okay.
Trapstar Life.
How did the idea come about to start something like that?
Do you know what it is? It's to go way back now. Is say about 2014, 15. Basically, I used to do music back then.
Okay.
And then over the years, alhamdulillah, ever since I graduated from madrasa in 2014.
You graduated from madrasa?
Yeah, I graduated from madrasa. So I studied madrasa, alhamdulillah, completed my hifz as well in Shrewsbury Markaz.
MashaAllah.
And 2006 till 2009, I was at Kidderminster. So that's why I've got a lot of friends from London, basically. So a majority of them were all from London.
So you're not originally from London?
No, I'm originally.
You got a bit of an accent.
It changes, it fluctuates, depends on who I'm speaking to or whatever.
So where are you originally from?
Originally from Leeds, born in Leeds, been in there all my life, yeah.
Okay. So going back, the whole idea you said started because you used to do music.
Yeah, because I used to do music, and obviously I thought, it's not the right way forward and everything. And after seeing what's happening nowadays in society and everything, etc., drill music, and then you got the youngsters looking up to him, everything, etc. You got the Muslim community especially as well. And there's a lot more Muslims that are going into the drill music as well, Asian rappers, Asian artists and stuff and whatnot. And I thought, let me change it a bit, and let me do some nasheed instead. So I like writing poetry, and, at night time I just get pen to pad, start writing and stuff. And then I thought, let me go to studio, record something and do some halal vocals instead. So ever since I dropped my first one, which was Dear Allah, alhamdulillah, got good feedback off of that. And once I realized from the comments as well, people, how many people it impacted, I thought, I need to continue doing good. And it's only the right way forward. And a lot of people have changed their lives from it as well. Do you know what I mean? And then that's when I thought, I'll change it now. I've done the whole, the good side to it, like doing, inside the mosque and everything, etc. I had a target audience at that time. I thought, let me just change it to the drill side now. Aim at more like the gangsters and all these.
But without music, though.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But without music still, yeah?
Yeah.
You're not including music.
So I don't include no music in my nasheeds whatsoever. So all vocals on. It's like the previous one I had a good brother, a friend of mine, Harun Abdul Haq, basically. So me and him more or less kind of sat together and said, let's create something different. So I gave him a sample beat and I said, can you recreate this beat? Which is used by another drill artist. But I said, let's create it with vocals only. Just to show the music industry that, we can still do music, yeah? And can make it sound a bit the same, but only vocals only. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people can use it as well. So, and then we wrote that. That's when I rang him and I said, okay, recreate that. I'll write lyrics and everything. Came down to London, recorded it and stuff and whatnot. And then ever since then, thought, let's do the video for it. And once we had the video kind of already, 3 days before the video shoot, I kind of realized, let's change. Let me write a storyline instead. I put a storyline in it. And then it started off with me, Nishad as well, and another brother, Tawheed as well. And I was kind of stressed at that time. I was thinking, how am I going to pull this off? Do you know what I mean? There's only 3 of us. How am I going to pull a good video off, like with a good storyline and stuff and whatnot? And then when the day came, alhamdulillah, my mates came through as well. And we filmed it 8 hours flat. And then the following day, alhamdulillah, my videographer mastered it within less than 24 hours. And then he came out spanking and got really good results after that, literally, alhamdulillah. And I had a lot of, even from, drug dealers, trappers, rappers, everyone started DMing me from that moment, saying, mashallah, you're doing really good and stuff. We need to change the scene a bit more. And, it's influenced a lot. And that's when I thought, you know what, if I carry on with this, it's going to be good and good influence for
I'm going
everyone
to take
else.
you back a bit, you born in a Muslim family. I think before we were speaking about, especially with the Bengali community, generally a very religious community, a very conservative, religious. How did you get into music?
You know what, it's hard because not everyone accepts it, especially within our Bengali community as well. Like say, for example, if I did this in my local community, we're all like a strong brotherhood as well there. And let's say London, for example, is very advanced. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's with the times and stuff, they move fast and everything. But whereas, let's say Leeds, it's not like that. So everyone knows everyone. So everyone's quick to judge and point fingers and say, oh, so-and-so, your son did this, your daughter did this, etc. But that's why I do most of my projects in London.
Okay.
Because it's much more easy. No one can point fingers and say, oh, you're a bad person for doing this, that, etc. Whereas over there, they'll see it as something bad. And I'm being honest here. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone accepts it.
I'm not referring to the vocals, though. Vocals,
yeah. Vocals is fine.
You said you started off in terms of with music and then you changed to vocals. Why? Surely there would have been a bit of, let's say, doubt. And then you're mentioning in the community in Leeds, people will already be saying, look, you know what?
Yeah, but then I kind of lost respect as well. This was before I went back to Dewsbury to finish my hifz. That's when I kind of stopped music. So I kind of stopped it then, and then I went back to Dewsbury in 2012, and then I finished my hifz in 2014. I graduated, and ever since then I didn't go back to music.
Okay, well, when you say music, you're talking
music as in proper music, literally. Vocals only just came like in 2 years ago. Producing music, yeah, literally. So I stopped all of that and everything. I thought, you know what, it's not the right way forward, and it's only just going to bring bad name to your family as well. Everything.
But also, you mentioned you went to Kidminster. That's also Darul Uloom.
Yeah, Darul Uloom.
Darul Uloom now. So there you have studied Islamic sciences. Did you do an iftar course there?
We didn't know, to be honest. I was there for 3 years and we were just studying hifz, literally. So the tartib and everything was a bit different there. We didn't have much time to study the hifz because of GCSEs getting in the way. So we'll have our class from like 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And our sabak will be like half a page or something. We're young back then. You were talking about 11, 12 years old. Do you know what I mean? And we're just slowly adapting to it as well. I've never been to madrasa before.
Okay, that's the first time you went to
That's my first time, exactly, yeah. So I used to get like homesick every so often and whatnot. And we'll have class in the afternoon, and then you'll have mutala. Yeah, we boarded there as well. And we'd go home like every 3 months.
Okay, that's like a boarding school. I mean, that's the discussion you've had. Like, you know what? Sometimes people, not the boarding school per se, but look, people are learning, let's say, or memorizing Quran, or memorizing, let's say, books and something. But where's the understanding and the practice at?
The practicality of what you're learning is theory based,
or understanding it. Yeah, because really Islam should be
understanding.
Practicing it, applying it, understanding it, applying it. So there was a Sahaba, I think Abdullah bin Masud, who said we would learn 10 ayats, memorize 10, understand 10, and we will not memorize another 10 until we put these into practice. And that's why they say, look, Umar ibn Khattab, it took him maybe 2.5 years to memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. The reason being there, hifz or memorization was understanding and put into practice. But, so this was my...
Our ones become more of an accolade. So when, obviously, I don't know the historical background of it. Do we know when the push for memorizing just started without understanding?
Allah knows best.
There's no like historical to say you start pushing this stage.
It probably is.
Because it's a proper norm nowadays. If you look around the world, even Somalian community, many different communities, there's a massive push, including my own household, if I'm being honest, to memorize whilst they're young, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, memorize the whole Quran. And then, because my mum might say something like, it's best for them to memorize whilst they're young, because in the future, that hifz in their head,
much more easier.
They come back to the day.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's much more easier, literally, for youngsters to do it at a young age, literally. And we used to learn it, memorize the Quran from Fajr time. Fajr time is the best time when your mind's fresh. Word to advice to anyone to memorize is Fajr time. Your mind is so fresh and you can soak up literally everything.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, when I went
age did you start, sorry?
I started at the age of, Nazra and everything I started what we're talking about, 5, 6 years old. Proper NASA
oh,
and
the
everything. Yeah,
basics
I'm
of-
going on, yeah, literally. And then started memorizing from like 11 years old when I got into Kidderminster, basically. And during them 3 years, I memorized, alhamdulillah, 15 paras before I left in 2009. And then in Dewsbury, when I was like 18, I didn't have no work or anything back then, no college, no studies or anything. So I thought, what am I doing wasting my time? I might as well go back and finish it. I've done half of it. That's when the shaitan stops you and tells you, you know what, don't go back. When you're at 10, he'll tell you, don't go back to Mother Sand.
So when you was younger, you was doing it for the sake of, say, your parents. But when you got to about 18, it was more
like me, yeah, because I didn't have no GCSEs, no nothing whatsoever. So all I have to do basically is go back to Madrasa, put my head down and study all day and night, literally. And my timetable would be from 7 o'clock till 11 during class, hifz.
7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
7 a.m. till 11 a.m. Yeah. And then after that would be like lunch. And then you'll just nap for a bit. And then you got Zohar time at 1 p.m. And then after that you got class again, where you'll just memorize for the next day now. And then you'll have class again from 6 till 8. And then after that, and in the evening. And then after that you're free. But I used to utilize every single time that I had, literally without wasting any time whatsoever.
But then how would you say, with, like I said, just like my mom's argument might be, memorize whilst you're young, because in the future that memorization has some form of, that's how they will put it, like some form of blessing, some form of, because you've worked so hard, if you ever go the wrong way, because you've done that memorization at a young age, there's that kind of, how would I put it? Like the nurturing or the love for Allah is in your heart, you'd come back to it. That's their understanding that you should learn whilst they're young. How did that apply to you? Because obviously you deviated kind of thing, went into music, right?
Yeah.
So from memorizing Quran to music, Islamically, anyway, some will say is a big jump. So how did it move from that to that?
For me, to be honest with you, what they say is, let's say, for example, when it comes to Tarawih time and Ramadan time, and you don't go over your whole Quran throughout the whole year, they say, of course, it's much more easier for you to memorize the second time around, the third time around, because it's already there anyway. It'll be rough. If someone was to ask you, read me this page or recite this surah to me, whatever, you probably won't be able to do it. I probably won't be able to do it if you was to ask me now. But if you're consistent and you're reading it day in, day out and everything, and it's there, then yes, 100% it'll stay there. But what you're saying is like, when music came in between and everything, I was scared at the same time, thinking, has it gone? Have I lost the Quran? I knew what the punishment and, the outcome would be if I had forgotten my Quran. And that's scary as it is, do you know what I mean? To think, have that thought in your head. And that's when I thought, I'm going to go back. I'm going to see if I've still memorized it. And alhamdulillah, I finished it within a year, because I put my head down literally day and night. I'd put my head down, memorize as much as I can, and I'll just carry on with my day, and that's it.
So I think there's a difference, like when you've gone back the second time, you want to do it.
I wanted to do it this time.
I want to memorize. So that's the difference. The other thing, I think, let's say with early generations, remember, even if they were young, memorizing, it was more, it's like they understand Arabic language. So you're memorizing and you're understanding. That also has an impact. In terms of, okay, you're going to do the right actions. But where it's become now, where people not understanding at all and they're memorizing, because the shocking thing I see, very shocking, it hurts when you hear of a drug dealer and a Hafid, and he's Abdurrahman, drug dealer, and he's a Hafid of Quran, and he's Muhammad, and you'll hear that. You hear Muslim names, and you hear, it's, how can you memorize the Quran, have a name like that, and be doing stuff which completely contradict the Quran?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I wanted. Do you know what I mean? You do music, but then you're half it at the same time. It doesn't mix. It doesn't gel well. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna end up forgetting it. The more you're more you're into music, you're gonna end up forgetting your Quran. You're forgetting Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. You're forgetting your namaz and everything.
Did you find that though, like that? Did you find that happening?
I had moments like that. 100%. I'm not gonna lie about that. 100%. I had times like that where I'm listening to music, whatever. I was so addicted to it at that time. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have my moments as well. Even now, like I'll listen to it here and there, whatever. But then I'll repel back and I'll be like, I can't really do it, because you know what? I'm memorizing the Quran at the same time. I've got it in me. I don't want to forget it. And my parents sacrificed everything that they had just to, get me into madrasa and to become a better person. and then to teach my youngsters, my siblings, and then to convey the message at the same time as well.
Just a question on that, you know, so let's say at the time you were doing music,
Yeah.
did it have an impact on, let's say, other aspects of Islam? Meaning, okay, you know what, were you praying? Were you fasting? Were you kind of like keeping away from certain things which are haram? Because sometimes some, you know, it's well, some people say, look, when you're into music, it's such a big negative impact on iman that people just stop doing any goodness. Was that the case? Or you were saying, look, okay, I'm doing this, but at the same time, I am praying, I am fasting, I am kind of reading Quran. I don't do, you know, I don't do.
See, I didn't deviate as much. I didn't go astray as much. So I had my boundaries and everything, and I would balance it at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't completely go astray whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? I kept it, you know, balanced. I'll make sure, okay, cool. If I'm doing this, I'll make sure. Because my parents were always on to me anyway. Make sure you're praying namaz and everything. And they'll know anyway when I'm not praying my namaz. Because most of the time, if I'm at home or if I'm working or whatever, have you prayed your namaz? Have you prayed your salah? Have you prayed your fajr namaz? Everything, etc. The mosque is right next to my house anyway.
Yeah.
So they'll know. My father does the azan and everything, and he'll tell me, you know, it's namaz time or whatever. Tell your brother to get ready, everything. But I don't think there was a time where I've kind of led too much astray where people to start pointing fingers, other than the time when I was doing music, of course.
Okay.
And that's when obviously we're going back to madrasa and everything, and then building that respect back up as well.
And I did mention, I said to you, like in terms of, you know, especially the Bengali community, there is a level of respect for deen. It is a generally, if you look at a lot of Muslim communities, you know, the Bengali Muslim community will be very conservative. Women will generally wear hijab. There will be an element of kind of like salah in the home. Youngsters will, even if they're doing some crazy stuff, they'll have a respect for deen. In some parts of the world, if they are, you know, not practicing, they just sometimes just hate deen completely.
Yeah.
But, you know, with Bengalis that have that. The other thing I'm interested in asking you, Hafiz Ashef, is, you know, when you've done your studies in Kidminster and also in Dewsbury, Darul Ulum, did you also study like Islamic studies? You know, sometimes they have like iftar courses or alim courses. Did you do that in any of those places?
I didn't, to be honest. It was too much. I couldn't. You know, they say it's not everyone's cup of tea, and for me, it wasn't. I couldn't, you know, take it all in, and you know, even sometimes, even till now, if you was to ask me questions randomly about Islam or everything, I won't remember. I couldn't. There's only a certain amount that I can take in. But alhamdulillah, for my hifz, it was there. Do you know what I mean? But we did have classes, Nasir classes and Sirah classes and stuff. But down the theology classes and stuff, we didn't have.
You wanted to focus on just the hifz?
Just the hifz.
Okay.
It was literally solely 12 to 16 hours, strictly just hifz.
What's the reason for the hifz? Like, meaning, like, why was you more interested in hifz? Is there a reason for that?
No, because obviously parents, you know, pushed me to go and memorize the Quran at a young age, and because I had that 3 years gap where I didn't study or whatsoever, it was only right for me to just go back and go complete it. And
so was it more out of like, again, just sticking to your word and something and finishing it, or there was a desire to understand it more, or the
I wanted to understand it more as well, literally. And that's what I wanted to do, even with my nasheeds as well. I used that to my advantage, even with Dear Allah, when I dropped that nasheed as well. When I was writing that track, I was more or less kind of, not complaining, but at the same time trying to seek advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the same time like saying, Dear Allah, I'm going through this, etc., hardship and ease and whatnot. And then when I was writing it, I thought, you know, I kind of looked at my lyrics and I thought to myself, wait a minute, every single thing that I wrote within those lyrics had an answer in the Quran.
MashaAllah.
So when you look back at the video, I've put those quotes next to each lyric, literally to make it make sense, basically. So
that each complaint or whatever had an answer.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I'm going through any sort of hardship, I'm complaining in the track about hardship, you know, the ayah, and with every hardship comes ease. So I attach that next to it as well, basically. So it's a response.
Jazakallah khair.
All right. So we've gone obviously on your stage where you are now, roughly, and let's go back a bit. What's the background? Where are you from originally? Where was you born, raised? Like, give a little, just quick bio.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Leeds, so I lived there for my whole life. And obviously in between Kidderminster, I stayed there for 3 years, coming home every 3 months. And I studied in, obviously, Darul Uloom in between.
So primary school, all of that was Muslim school as well?
No, primary school was just local, literally. That was just from nursery till year 6.
Tell us, how was Leeds? How was
year
Leeds?
7.
Is it a Muslim
Leeds?
environment, Muslim community? Is the different...
The same place where they had that little beef with Muhammad Hijab and all that, innit?
Nah,
that's Leicester.
That's Leicester.
That's Leicester.
That's Leicester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy's a South Londoner.
It's tomato, man. Leeds, Leicester. They're next to each other, right?
No, they're not.
Nah,
as well,
it's not even next to each other. No.
Geography's bad.
Now we're on a
Leeds,
bit away.
Leicester.
Listen, last time, you know, he was saying, I was talking about Uganda. I don't know, where was it?
Where's Uganda?
Where's Uganda? He was saying,
These times there's apparently next to Somalia.
not far, probably not far, next to Kenya.
Bad with geography, I'm not gonna lie. Go on. So yeah, Leeds, you're from.
Yeah, I'm from Leeds. Yeah, it's not as rough as most places, but it can get a bit gritty sometimes. For those that know of it, do you know what I mean? And we do have our drug dealers and, you know, stabbings, shootings, everything, etc.
It's not far from Bradford, isn't it? It's kind of like close.
Yeah, it's not far from Bradford at the same time. So I don't usually involve myself in stuff like that. I try to kind of stay out of the area as much as I can. Hence the reason why I'm always up and down London.
Is it like a country? Does it look like countryside, Leeds?
How do I explain it? You know, a lot of people say that.
Does it look like
Okay, let's say it looks like Coronation Street.
Okay, I got you.
Let's say it looks like Coronation Street.
I
Yeah.
was thinking it looked like Coronation Street, man.
I've
Ain't
actually-
Coronation Street in Manchester?
Nah.
No?
I think it's a fake
I don't know.
street, isn't it?
No, it's definitely in a particular area, bro.
Is it?
Have you watched Coronation Street?
No, I haven't.
So I was trying to trap him out.
You got time for that, yeah?
Once upon a time, Machi, when there was only 5 channels, what can we do? Go on. Yeah, sorry.
But
so
yeah,
it looks
a bit like
that
a little
kind
bit
of
of Coronation Street. Yeah.
cottagey-
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not too much cottages. Yeah,
It's a big
You get your
city, bro.
posh-
Is it?
It's a
Yeah?
big
It is.
city.
I think it's the fourth biggest city in UK now.
Something like this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Invite this guy, please. Yeah. Just MC Leeds. Yeah. Stereotyping.
Come. You might feel homesick. It's nothing like the city. It's
Is
nothing
it?
like London.
I don't mind a bit of country, man. Country is nice.
Yeah.
Country is nice. You got to walk, what, 20 minutes for some food and that?
No,
No?
it's not that bad. You're making it sound. You're making it sound like a full on countryside now.
said you
Literally, nah.
Okay.
Literally live within the town, so everything's literally
So
close by and everything.
life when you was young was vibrant.
Yeah,
Football, all of that.
everything, football and everything. We've even got a football tournament coming, but I'm not even prepared for it.
How's the
Get a minute,
Muslim
sir.
community? How was the Muslim community?
Muslim community, alhamdulillah, it's good there. Everyone's strong there. We got our Bangladeshi community. We got our Pakistani community and everything as well.
Relationships.
Relationship, alhamdulillah, every relationship's good. We did have our moments and stuff. You probably might have heard of, obviously. If I was to speak on that now, then I'll be a target. I'd rather just keep
What,
my
there's
mouth.
politics between Pakistan and Bangladesh?
I'd rather just keep my mouth shut. Yeah,
Flipping
yeah.
heck.
I think that's, you know, what do you call it? How do you say? The sad situation of a lot of Muslim places.
It's politics at the end of the day because they want to take
But
over.
deen should supersede politics, you know, because of a boundary, because of a barrier. Look, Somalia, you know, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Saudi, Yemen, Sudan, Egypt, Quran, you know.
Meant to unite you.
You know, إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة. You're one ummah. Yeah, al-Muslim أخو Muslim. Muslim is a brother. So, yeah, inshallah, I think with the youngsters, you know, second, third generation, hopefully it is changing, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Is it changing?
I'm trying within my locality. Yeah,
Are you married? Are you married?
I'm not married. No.
Wife has to be from Pakistan. akhi. That's yeah, it's gonna have to be a Pakistan.
Unite-
wife.
Unite
Who
through
knows?
marriage.
Who knows? Inshallah, whenever the time's right. But I mean, I'm trying to make a bit of change from my area.
Good.
I'm trying as much as I can, and like I said to you earlier, not every society will accept it. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was saying to you that London is a bit different to Leeds. London's a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
Leeds isn't. They're a bit way back. Like the other day, I had a conversation with my dad, and he was telling me about the film and stuff and whatnot.
About the what? Sorry.
About the Trapstar film.
He was what against it?
See, he didn't understand it as much, yeah. But I had to kind of explain it in depth. Like, look, you know, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of good feedback. Alhamdulillah, it's good. You know, I've got a lot of sheikhs behind me that are kind of authorizing as well at the same time, and I'm not getting no negative feedbacks. Maybe society, our Bangladeshi community might not accept it, yeah, but that's because some people, you know, they're just so deep into only listening to Bengali speakers rather than being a bit more diverse and listening to, let's say, yourself or Mufti Menk or someone, you know, famous, whatever. They won't understand what's happening. Like I tried explaining, like the Zamana now has changed. Yeah? Your target audience is different. My target audience might be people on social media. they might understand me. They can relate to me and stuff. Hence why I'm using these drug dealer type of action within my films and stuff to make it look like as though, you know what, okay, this is the lifestyle people are following and we need to deviate away from that lifestyle. How are we going to do it? So when you watch Trapstar, when it comes out, well, when this podcast probably comes out, it'll already been out by then anyway, 29th. You'll understand it because I put a moral at the end of it as well. So people when they watch it, they'll be like, you know what, it's all just a gangster type of film, but it's not. I'm kind of narrating at the same time, but at the end of the whole film, there's a moral behind it. Okay. What is Trapstar Life all about, basically? So when I'm trying to explain this to my dad and everything's all good. He goes, yeah, but, you know, if it's Islamic, then everyone has to accept it. I go, no, everyone's not going to accept it. Not everyone's going to be happy for me. I'll do my fair share. If you know, people are, you know, on my back and everything and they helping me, supporting me and stuff and sponsoring me and whatnot, then yeah, cool, I'll continue if they like it. If it changes one person, then I'm happy. Alhamdulillah. I don't really need to be bothered about the other 99% of people that don't like it. You know, you can't really please everyone.
But remember, I mean, your target audience, even if it's Bengali youngsters, they will appreciate it.
Exactly.
It might not be, you know, certain generations, but your generation and downwards, they will appreciate it.
Exactly. And that's all the main focus is now, is the younger generation. You know, not saying in a bad way, but I haven't got that. I don't know in which way I can do a message that will target the older generation. Do you know what I mean? Me right now to do rapping and stuff, etc., will only just target the younger generation. And if, say, for example, if I'm not famous or anything whatsoever, but if I was to do a talk or a speech in a mosque and people hear like, oh, like Ashef's going to do a rap over there, a lot of youngsters might come because they've already heard about it. But if your mosque is only just based solely just on Bengali talks and it's only Bengali and you've not got other speakers from around the world coming and you've got people with life experience. Let's say, for example, Aki Ayman. He's been to so many mosques recently. Batley, Rochdale, Blackburn, everything, etc. You got 400 youngsters coming, flooding in because he can relate to them. People can relate to him.
ELM had 2,500 youngsters came for his talk when he done it in East London Masjid. So yeah. Don't worry, your start's going to be tonight after you leave the prayer. You're going to do a talk after the Maghrib.
I'm not that confident in giving talk.
We're going to start.
I'm not that confident, inshallah, next time. But yeah. But
so going back to that, then you went to school and you went to normal primary school, secondary school was what?
Secondary school, I only went there for 1 year, Primrose.
Normal general
school.
school?
Yeah, general school. And then after that, 2006, that's when I went to Madrasa, boarding school.
Okay. How is life in boarding school?
Boarding school, actually, it was wicked. I'm not going to lie. It was a good experience. There was a conversation, there was a conversation on LBC the other day that was talking about boarding school. I don't know if you listened to it. And that guy, what's his name, man?
Nick Ferrari?
Nah, other guy. From Kidderminster as well.
Is it?
Funny enough, yeah. What's the one after Nick Ferrari? James O'Brien. He's from Kidderminster.
I never heard of him.
Yeah. Anyway, he was talking about it and he went boarding school. And apparently they done some tests or some form of survey and they found out that people that went to boarding school many years later was like, I wouldn't say, there was like, what's the word for it? Like they regretted going to boarding school. They felt like they was neglected. These kind of, like, you know, the people that have been, so how would you kind of put that? Because his argument was, it was good for him.
Yeah. When
he heard the survey, he was like, no, I'm going to push back because actually I benefited from it, blah, blah, blah. But then
100%.
Other people are saying, no, I wasn't with my parents, I was by myself, blah, blah, blah. So.
Nah, 100%. It was a wicked experience for me. I wouldn't be in the place where I am right now had it not been for me going to boarding school. I wouldn't have had so many links and, you know, friends in London had it not been for me going boarding school, of course.
So there's a lot of people from London.
Everyone, literally, 90%, majority of them are from London, literally. Okay. That's why I'm always here. And, you know, Ashad, Dilshad, literally these lot are the ones that brought me into London and, you know, put my name out there and stuff and said, you know, he's a rapper, let's get him out there and stuff, everything, etc. Let's push him. And then I started writing when I was even in Madrasa. I used to do poetry in Madrasa. And then Dilshad one day goes to me, you know, obviously no Dilshad, and he said to me, he goes, why don't you just move forward with it? Do some, you know, Islamic stuff. And we'd have conversations. He'd call me like, even till today, he'll still call me like 7 p.m. bang on. As soon as he finishes work, he'll call me and he'll have a conversation with me. He'll catch up with me, you know, what's going to be plans for part 2, part 3 and everything, etc. Alhamdulillah, I've got a good team behind me. But that's the perks of going to madrasa
Yeah.
was that as well. Learning, studying. Maybe I didn't finish it or graduate from that specific madrasa, but having that brotherhood and friendship with everyone was the main thing.
What did a day look
opened
like over there?
Waking up for Fajr Namaz, and then you got class from like 8 till 11 o'clock. And that back then we were doing GCSEs. So we were on the 16s, and then like 1 till 4 o'clock we'll have English, science, maths class. And then you'll have tea time after that from 4 till 6, and 6 till 8. You'll sit down for class, and then you'll memorize for tomorrow's class, morning class.
It's very intensive compared to a normal.
And then lights off at 10, 11.
Okay. And when you said lights off to me, I'm picturing bunch of bunk beds.
I don't think we had, we had
people in their own rooms.
People had it was 2 in a room.
Okay.
2 in a room, 2 single beds, yeah.
That's all right.
But no phones.
I don't know, in my head I'm picturing like some big warehouse with bare beds.
Okay, that was in Dewsbury though.
Okay.
Dewsbury we had 12 people in a room.
Okay. That's another madrasa.
That's the other one I went to back in 2012, yeah.
To finish off,
yeah.
Okay.
But the Kid Minister one was just 2 people in a room.
Okay. And it was much more intense, obviously, because you're basically studying for more than half of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas
so no phones allowed, no nothing.
Back in those days, the phones were Nokias and all that, innit?
But now it's changed. Now you're allowed phones at madrasas.
What do you think?
But I don't know. It was better without it.
More concentration
and stuff and whatnot. But I don't know how it's like now, because I'm hearing majority of madrasas, they allow phones. So
Things have changed, isn't it? I mean, they have to move with the times, and sometimes even these youngsters and the parents say it's a necessity.
Yeah.
I need to call my son. My son needs to be able to call
but
me.
you can still have a banger phone.
No, I would ideally say, look, shouldn't, because it's going to affect your kind of like
Learning.
and
You're going
studies.
to be on socials and chatting and pictures and.
But I don't know how they allowed it now compared to before. What changed all of a sudden? Like, Dewsbury Madrasa's closed down now fully. Ofsted have closed it down.
Yeah, that closed down.
Crazy. Maybe
don't know for what reason and stuff and whatnot. Let's not even get. Let's not even get into that. But yeah.
Okay, close.
We'll close that one. But
so life for you was fun.
It was fun. I had no problems.
There's no beatings.
No beatings whatsoever. I didn't go Bangladesh.
Okay.
It was on the table.
Yeah.
I said no, thank you. I'm not going Bangladesh.
To study in Bangladesh, in Darul Uloom in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So your parents, did they have a kind of like a religious background to say, look, we want you to get into like a Darul Uloom to become a Hafiz or an Alim? Was that push there from the family?
It was there from the family, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. But
was dad like a religious scholar or something?
He was no scholar, no nothing whatsoever. He's the muazzin of our Shah Jalal Mosque. Now, alhamdulillah, he does the azan as well. But my parents, alhamdulillah, are a bit laid back and stuff and whatnot, but they obviously know the morals and stuff to push the children, siblings and whatnot, for me to be a good role model, everything, etc. So 100%.
Are you the oldest from siblings?
Yeah, out of 4 siblings, yeah. I'm the oldest. But yeah, they're not too strict with me or whatsoever.
Why wasn't Bangladesh an option then? Why not?
Mum wouldn't allow it for me to go back home. She was already in tears the moment I got into the car and went back to Kid Minister. Literally, she would not allow me to catch another flight and go study over there.
Okay.
Yeah, she wouldn't allow it. Mum was born back home, but she's British, so she speaks fluent English. And she works as well. Mum and dad work as well.
So, sometimes they have institutions where, okay, you stay at home, you go there and study. Yeah. From one angle, sometimes health and safety issues, safety concerns, sometimes abuse, sexual abuse and so on. Sometimes, these boarding schools, it happens. Do you think which one would be a better option? For the kids to stay at home, go study in institutions, Islamic institutions, come back, or the boarding school, I'm assuming is going to be a bit more stricter, the regime of studying, like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then a little break and then more studies, probably up till Isha. You're kind of like, doing studies. What do you think? Balance out the two from all angles. Which one would be more beneficial?
See, I've studied at home as well. But studying at home is not the same as studying at madrasa, no chance. You haven't got that mahal, you haven't got that environment Do you know what I mean? You need that environment to see another student study. He's sat in the corner, or you see another few students sat in the corner, they got the Quran open and they're studying. That's only what's going to motivate you. But by you being at home and your parents say to you, okay, it's learning time now, go get your Quran out quickly, you're not going to do it.
No, but the angle I'm talking about is more, they are going to an environment of education, like it's a school, but it's not boarding. So let's say
day boarding you're talking
but
about.
It's Islamic school.
Yeah.
They're going to go there, leave here at 7 a.m., get there for 8 a.m., but 6, 7 p.m. they're coming back. Would that be a better option? Is there a better option? Or do you think staying there, the environment was more of a push to study and revise and memorize and so on?
Because I've had that experience, I'd say stay there, study there basically.
Then you said that's a better kind
that
of like...
That would be a better option, literally.
See, my now with the phones and stuff, social media, crazy things that kids are now watching and seeing, being alone without your parents' guidance can sometimes be problematic this day and age, worrying, and sometimes kids are sending sexual pictures to one another, and now they're on their own. Teacher's gonna go teach, but go to their residence. Who's watching those kids in the evening? It's kind of like a worry. So people do ask me, they say, look, what do you advise? I'm kind of like very, very concerned about Darul Uloom and boarding schools like that. It's a personal kind of like perception of mine.
No, that's 100% true. Like, for me, it was a shock when I heard about it. What you're just saying now, literally 100%, I agree with you, because who is looking after them when the teachers go? They finish their shift, 6 o'clock, whatever. The students got the whole evening to themselves.
So how was it for you lot?
We didn't have no phones. We wasn't allowed. We had supervision all day. All day
you had supervision. So there would always be like some form of a teacher at the place. You lot will go to bed. They will see you lot have gone to bed.
Yeah, literally. Everyone will light stuff and everything and whatnot. But whereas now I have no idea what's happening now in Darul Ulooms. But as I'm hearing, is they're allowed phones, and what Sheikh said now as well. Like, who is supervising them? What are they doing behind closed doors at night time, everything and whatnot? You don't know what's happening. Is their main focus on social media? Are they studying? Are they reading the Quran, whatever? Or are they just mixing both together? But because we didn't have no phones back then, it was easier for us to study. Shrewsbury, alhamdulillah, for me was perfect. I didn't have no phone whatsoever. And I just put my head down constantly and I learn my stuff. Hence why I finished within a year, alhamdulillah.
I think at the same time, to push back though, that parents are the fearmongers. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, remember, the majority of the world doesn't do bad. But one bad thing will happen and everyone thinks that will happen to their child. And so everyone's like, you can't play out. You can't go here. You can't go to that school. But for example, like the kids that have died, if you talk about baby P or whatever, it's one kid out of millions of kids that are born weekly, monthly, yearly. But now because of that one kid, a whole new rule will come out. Every parent's now shook that same thing will happen to their child. So now, for example, the whole lady that's gone to prison now for killing
the nurse.
The nurse.
Yeah.
I know for a fact when if I go, my wife's having a baby, I'm saying, yo, I need to roll with my kid from now on. You understand? It's just natural.
It is.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think sometimes the point you're making, that we're scared for kids to go to boarding schools, we limit our kids based on one little thing that's happened here, one little thing that's happened there. We think that's going to happen to our kids. But then what that does is your child is now, we're raising children that are shook, scared. I don't even know. I can say so many names. But whereas when we was younger, you can play out for hours on end. You know how to be street smart.
Yeah.
You know how to move. All of that, the youngsters don't have no more. And that's because their parents are too scared for them to go out to certain places. So for me, the boarding school, as long as I can trust in the teachers and I see maybe they have certain certain systems in place that's not going to allow for certain things to happen, I probably would go with that personally. Just because of the system. If I want my kid to be some excellent kid, and I think for me that system works much better than the public school where everyone's just doing the same thing every single day. There isn't that push for them to be excelling in anything. You're just going to come out as a general student with, I don't know, 2 GCSEs or something and work at McDonald's. I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, 100% is way better. But the phone situation and everything, but I don't know how they allowed it, to be honest with you.
Just trying to move with the times.
Your point is, the Latif's point is valid. But I'm just, you know what it is? It's, let's say you go to the Zaman of Sahaba, companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, of course, there's battles and there's wars. And what's happening? Companions are going out. They're going to other lands. Battles are taking place. Who are they leaving behind their families with? Other companions. Yeah, there's a level of trust. There's a level of, not trust, because they know these people are righteous, they fear Allah Ta'ala. Now, I mean, our own levels of iman, our own levels of kind of like accountability to Allah has gone down. So that now, am I going to leave kids, younger kids? Remember, kids are also very, very vulnerable and innocent. You can easily manipulate a child and say, and make a child seem something is right when it's not right.
Of course.
Yeah, and the biggest harm and damage to a child is sexual abuse. That messes up their whole life. So this is where, sometimes they worry. And of course, few cases, but those are the cases that have come out. How many cases have come? It's a big stigma. Even within a Muslim community, because look, for somebody to, this is in family. I'm talking about, Muslim girls will go to family members and say, look, such and such a person
has done this.
And what would a family, forget anybody else, family who love you say, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Because it's like
a shame.
It's exactly
as if you've done wrong.
Yeah, and then how's the victim going to? Well, there's a case. Forget that. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah. No, but I get it. I think that's in most cultures that people say, you know what, shun it, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because even though you're the victim, the stigma is on you, say for a future husband or whatever, this has happened to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
And then the thing is, our Islamic institutions, let's say it's, Islamic Darul Ulooms, educational institutes, do they have in place strict safeguarding regulations to make sure things are covered? Have they done checks on the person who is actually caretaking in the night when everybody's gone, teachers have gone, he's the only one taking care of, these young boys and stuff?
See, Kidderminster was good like that.
Okay.
Kidderminster had its restrictions in place, rules and regulations and everything. Alhamdulillah, it's still progress until today and whatnot. It's really good, like supervision and studying wise, and teachers are always on board, on point and stuff. Yes, I think they're allowed phones as well, but their tertib and their way of guiding the students is all under supervision.
MashaAllah.
It's wicked. But obviously, I don't know what happened to Dewsbury and how they went off the rails and they got closed down. But because I've studied in Madinatul Uloom and we're going back for the reunion on the 17th, we've always had that bond and connection.
That's what it's called, Madinatul
Uloom. Yeah. So that's one of Sheikh Yusuf Mutalla Sahib's madrasas as well. And we always have that brotherhood and bond. We always go back to our ustads and we always pay a visit with them and we keep that connection with them. If you have that connection with them, regardless whether you made it or whether you didn't, whether you finished or you didn't, and you go back and you be like, ustad, they'll give you advice at the end of the day, regardless. You've still got a connection, having that connection with your ustad. I'm leading astray, I need your advice, I need your help. Have that connection with someone that's good to you, basically. And they're not going to look at you in a bad way. Whether you've got come back with your beard shaved off, or you've got a low fade or whatever, or you're wearing jeans or whatever, they will not look at you like that. It's only just going to lead them astray. You're just going to scare them away. Push them away.
Yeah, criticize
What's the point? We had this one ustad in Dewsbury, yeah, and he would supervise us during the afternoon class, and he would know which students have phones and who doesn't have phones. And even if you'd like walk past the corridors and you'll see a student with a phone, he wouldn't say anything. He'll act like he didn't see anything, because you're not allowed phones in madrasa in Dewsbury. And so I think one of the students once asked him, how come you don't take the phones of students? It's like, if I take the phone of a student, yeah, he's going to stop studying. He's going to stop coming to class. He's going to be depressed. He's going to be upset. I'd rather not take it off him, and I just let him get on with whatever he's getting on with, and the results will show after. Do you know what I mean? Because he's going to get upset about it, he's going to cry about it, it's going to lead him astray, who knows what he can do. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So he doesn't interfere, he doesn't, go out of his way just to go and confiscate. Because it does send a kid to depression, literally. You took the phone off them and that's it, they don't want to study no more. they start ringing their parents or whatever, like, oh, they took my
Ashad's
phone.
nodding his head, Akhi. It wasn't Ashad the kid, was he?
Ashad was one of the kids. It was one of the kids. We've all had
Don't
our
take
phones
my
confiscated.
phone.
Where to find another one?
Literally. Or it was fun. Madrasa was fun. Like, we can say it now because we've finished and whatnot. We used to hide it in the ceilings or in tea bags and
Don't give ideas to the younger generation.
skating boards.
It sounds like prison to me, bro.
We're not going to call it prison. We're going to get backlash for it if we started calling it prison. Do you know what I mean?
He's going for the reunion.
That's the kind of things you do in prison, bro.
Yeah,
Putting rice in rice bowls and everything.
Listen. It was. There'd be a day where they'll keep everyone in the masjid. Yeah. Before we even go to class.
Yeah.
So we'd be on one block. Our block was called H block. Yeah.
That sounds like prison.
It literally was. I'll be real. So okay, if you ever go there, it's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It used to be like an army camp before or something. Before back.
32 acres.
32 acres, isn't it? Yeah, of land. Yeah. So we were on the 16 we're in H block.
Yeah.
Yeah, cell block H. If you want to call it that.
Juvenile. For you, it's called juveniles.
Juvie for us. Yeah.
Go on.
And then the main building where we'll go and study was called gym block. Don't know why it's called gym block, but there was no gym there. And every time when we used to go for namaz time, we'll make sure the phones are hidden. Because there'll come times where they'll keep you in the gym block unexpectedly, yeah? They'll keep you inside the masjid, sat there, and as soon as it goes past about half an hour of you just sitting inside the masjid for no reason, everyone knows that there's a raid going on.
That's prison, akhi. It's prison, man.
There's a raid going on.
You lot was in prison, bro. That's another word for prison boarding school. I've come to the conclusion. That's it. I've made up my mind, bro. Man said you're hiding phones and doing raids.
Literally.
Pull out with metal detectors and everything.
Yeah, metal detectors and everything.
What about recreation? Like, football, gym? There was no gym, you said?
I think there was a gym, but that was like over 16s had the gym, I think.
Okay.
Over 16s had the gym or something, yeah. But football-wise, we used to love
Because you
playing
had
football.
32 acres, he said. Yeah?
Yeah, we had a big, massive football pitch.
Professional size.
Literally.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not even blowing my trumpet, but it was good at football back then. Yeah, we lost for stamina now.
So moving forward, you come out of Kidminister, you went to Dewsbury, complete your HIV. You're now, 19 years old?
Did I graduate? 2014. I think 19
20
years old, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. After that, did you start straight away with getting into vocals, nasheed, poetry, or did you dabble with music again, or you said no, that's it?
Vocals only, nasheeds only just started last year, I think.
Okay, so what did you do initially when you came out from the
And between then, I was just working normally and stuff, and just I was teaching as well at one of them, just as local, Hope Spring, under the guidance of Sheikh Uthman Iqbal. I was teaching at his mosque, and I was teaching there for a bit. Like after work, I'd teach there 5 till 7. On weekends, I'll be free anyway. But that was more or less kind of it. How my day used to go, teaching Monday to Friday, and I do my Taraweehs obviously during Ramadan time as well.
Okay,
when
you
I first
Taraweeh as well.
Yeah,
mashallah.
Taraweeh. So 2014, 15, 16, I did Taraweeh. But first place where I did Taraweeh was in Heathrow, Hounslow.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did it there, and then other 2 was local, and then I think I had a 3 years gap when I was working because it was hard back then.
What were you doing work-wise?
Work-wise, I think at that time I was working for Samsung at a call center.
Okay.
I was working for a call center then, and then when the coronavirus hit, that's when I did Taraweeh at home. I thought, let me go back into it and stuff, because I had a 3 years gap. I was scared that I was going to end up forgetting it. So I did Taraweeh at home with my family. I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't do the full 30 myself. I did it up till about 22 22nd Sipara, and then the rest of it I did it in my bedroom by myself. But I didn't stop. I said to my parents, and I go, look, unfortunately I won't be able to do the full Taraweeh with you. But I'm going to finish the rest off by myself because I need to go over it. And it was really, really hard for me to memorize them last 8 paras because they were very, kacha. But I didn't give up. I'd start like at 10 p.m. and I'd finish at 2 p.m.
Para means juz.
I was winding that up in my head. I was thinking, what is that word?
Juz, yeah, we use it a lot. That's why.
What's that Bangladesh word? I was like,
I don't know. Do you lot use it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used,
So it's
who's
not.
you lot?
The Asian culture.
Whatever you want.
Imam Shakur is Kenyan, bro.
He probably might be.
Whatever you want me to be, brother.
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
I can be.
Is that generation, yeah?
For now, it's Bengali for yeah. But yeah, I didn't give up.
Okay.
Regardless, basically, I'll start at 10 p.m. Tarawih time, and I'd learn the first 2-3 sides, 4 sides or whatever pages, and then I do 2 rakats, and then I'd do 2 rakats, and I record it at the same time just to take my mistakes out later on, and I'd do that continuously until I've finished. So I'd sit back down and memorize another 2-3 pages. I get back up, do 2 rakats until I finish full 20 rakats.
So after the COVID times, you carried on leading Tarawih?
Yeah, I
Solidified your hifz.
I solidified to my yeah, alhamdulillah.
excellent.
And I've been doing it ever since. And now, alhamdulillah, I've got a good team. 5 of us do it together, 4 ulamas.
Okay,
We've
mashallah.
got our specific location that we do on top of a shop.
Okay.
So we do it there. Alhamdulillah,
And
4
coming to
rakats
your
each.
artistic side now. So, Trapstar Life, that's your wider name. What pushed you towards, okay, you know what, especially was the first one there, Allah?
First one was Dear Allah, yeah. That was just a normal type of nasheed, yeah. Emotional kind of nasheed.
What made you get into this? What's your aim and objective from it?
This one, because I was seeing so much stuff on social media. Social media kind of gave me that push. Like, you need to change your target audience now. And especially where I come from as well, I see a lot of drug dealers as well. Your own people. Imagine seeing your own Bengali people selling drugs to each other or whatnot. They haven't got no guidance. There's no moral. They haven't got a way of living, way of life. Who's going to guide them? Do you know what I mean?
This is in Leeds.
This is in Leeds and anywhere else, any other cities. Do you know what I mean? And you see it everywhere on social media.
Is that your aim, Akhi? I want to bring them out of using my skill in, let's say, spoken word and vocals to make them reflect.
Reflect, 100%. Yeah, and I would like them to reflect as well, to show people the lifestyle that's happening now. Because at the end of the day, if you're selling drugs to your own family, like I know people that sell it to their own, they're chilling with their big brothers, but they're chilling with their younger brothers on the side, on a sly at the same time. And they're selling drugs to them and they're doing transaction and everything, etc. And they don't even know about it. Some people are selfish. They won't even tell you about it. That, I'm chilling with your brother, or he's doing this or he's doing that. People can turn their backs on each other at any time whatsoever. And what Trapstar Life is basically showing in my film is, how friendship can easily break, and trust, and your own people can stab you behind your back. And now I'm slowly starting to bring in the TikTok side to it as well, social media. I'm trying to open it up a bit more. So
what the consequences of being on TikTok?
Consequences of being on TikTok, and how it takes up a lot of time as well. Like nowadays, you got people that want to be on live 24/7. Literally, no one even watches TV no more. They go to the bedroom and like, my favorite TikToker's gone live now. Let me go spend some money and go give them a rose or whatever they want to call it.
Oh, you give money on TikTok?
Yeah,
And start.
that's how it works.
Start putting some stuff up.
Literally,
Then they get paid on TikTok.
people literally spend hours upon hours literally on
No
TikTok.
way.
Literally,
That is mad.
Yeah.
I know they done it in China, but obviously TikTok is
banned
like
actual thing.
they make money on
yeah.
China but they got a different name for the TikTok over there.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. It's not called TikTok. It's like a cousin or whatever name, and they send money to the person streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with TikTok.
They do that with TikTok as well.
Crazy.
People spend hours on there. Like the only thing you'll probably hear them say on TikTok Live is double tap the screen, double tap the screen, double tap the screen. Imagine your finger just doing this constantly.
Mad, innit?
Why? That's why I'm scared to go on live. I've not even been on live yet. Do you know what I mean? I've never been on, I'm scared. You know what I mean? I'm not doing.
Took that yet, bro. It's coming.
I'm not doing it. No.
No, obviously, if
Might
it's legit
contradict,
money,
yeah,
then but the problem I have with all of this whole social media is like, people are gonna live such a wild world web kind of world rather than the real reality of life. Like, I'll be chatting to my dad on internet more time than I'll just be knocking on his door and saying, yo, what's good, dad? Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, you're living in such fake reality rather than the real reality. And then a whole, what's it called? What's this thing on Facebook? Yeah, they've started a whole, remember, they got this new thing where you can put on I don't know the name. Yeah, it's virtual kind of world. You can put this on, you can make up your own person, you can have a 6-pack even though you got a big belly and act like you're you know what I'm trying to say to you? It's all like virtual. Right now we might be joking about it, But in 10 years' time, there will be someone who is in their house dirty, but in their virtual world looks like it's clean. And you would believe that's his real life. That's the madness. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So this whole TikTok,
Ashef,
artificial
intelligence.
out of all of that, we're just going down a direction that is just degenerate. Literally, that's how I say it. It's degeneracy. There's hardly even the goodness that comes from it. There's not as much as the badness that comes from it. Because people will say to you, yeah, but you can do goodness in TikTok. Yeah, and
You can, 100%.
You can, and you should. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you shouldn't. But I think a lot of people need to step back from it. Like, if you're making money, what are you making money on? Dancing? Are you taking a mic? Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Okay, if you're teaching something of value, okay, here's maths, here's how you do algebra, here's how you do surgery, here's how you start a business, here's how you take out a tire of a car and change. All right, cool, it's value because I can use this.
Benefits.
But you're going to show me how to do a dance and
Yeah.
it's a madness.
But now it's different. Even within our Muslims, they just sit there or they're with their friends or whatever and
They're all on phones.
they're cussing each other out.
On for phone.
Rinsing each other out, literally. And it's causing so much. And now what happens is, the whole reason why I'm scared to even go on live, you say one little thing out of context, there's someone behind that screen. Even if you've got 200-300 viewers, they will start screen recording it. Once they start screen recording it, it goes viral.
So people are looking for mistakes.
People are looking for mistakes and they'll start atting you. And that's it. You're done.
Discredit
Finished.
you.
And there's a lot of people
So, I mean,
literally
look,
like
one
going
thing
through
is,
that.
remember, if your intentions are good, you got to put your trust in Allah.
100.
And okay, you know, these platforms, they're there. You can't, let's say, not live without, without them now. The way, society is working. As long as what Abdul Latif mentioned, as long as your content is the right content. And it might even be you're challenging.
Yeah.
You're challenging the status quo of what people are doing there and what they are saying and how they're using it. Yeah, but is that your vision and plan with Trapstar Life? Is that what you want to try and achieve? Where do you want to take this? How long do you want to do this for? Do you want to take it on for like 5-10 years? Because you initially started off with like a vocals short kind of like film clip.
Yeah.
4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, first one was 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay. Now the next one is 20 minutes, you told me.
It's 20 minutes, more of a short.
What's your vision with this now? Where do you want to take this?
So I'm looking to expand it a bit more, depending on how it goes and the good feedback and everything and whatnot. So let's see, you might do a part 3, part 4. People like it, and I can get more morals, and it's it's changing people. I just don't want to do it for the fun of it.
Okay.
Like with me, I'm not money orientated or anything to worry about how much income I'm making off of this or whatever. I can just put it out there and not even look at my YouTube channel for about a month or so.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So long as it's changed one person, alhamdulillah, for me it's good. Do you know what I mean? I get a good
Questions on
feedback
that.
and stuff.
Do you have like the nasheeds or vocals on it?
On the actual Trapstar Part 2?
This one, which is
Yeah.
You do
That one does.
and you're doing it.
Yeah.
Anybody else with you or just yourself?
No, just myself. My producer now is Taslim Kareem, really good producer. A lot of people use him. Like you got Mahir Zain, Zain Bika, or all these famous nasheed artists as well. And he's from South Africa.
Okay, mashallah.
And what I do basically, I find a sample from YouTube, a type of beat that I like listening to, whatever, and then I send it to him, and I'd be like, please recreate this, vocals only, and he'll send it back to me within a week or whatever.
Okay.
And then that's when I'll start writing the lyrics for it. And with Trapstar Part 2, I've changed it compared to Part 1, because Part 2 I'm narrating it now. The majority of people, they know who Rapman is basically, and I kind of took that idea from him as well.
From
literally.
this side.
He's from Lewisham as well.
Yeah,
It's from Deptford.
Yeah, so I saw that and I thought, you know what? Let's do the Muslim version for it.
Yeah, the whole Shiro one went
Whole Shiro
public.
story.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm like, we can do it as well, not a problem. We can do it without music. Do you know what I mean? For the Islamic Muslim community and stuff and whatnot. So that's when I got the idea and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to change the whole narrative and stuff and let me start narrating it like this. And if people like it, then 100% I'll carry on doing it. But I'm not only just going to keep it targeted on Trapstar Life. Hence why I obviously had the moral towards the end of the actual film. What is Trapstar Life all about? Is it just about drug dealers? Is it just about being in gangs? Or is it about social media? It's about everything that keeps you away from Islam, basically. I've had the title, there's no point me changing the title now, but I'll obviously bring other stuff into it as well within the
Would
film.
add, in terms of, let's say you were to take this abroad, let's say even if it's Bangladesh or some other country, you'll be surprised because they're also being affected by, let's say, music and aspects of music and so on. And this could be an alternative that you and it might hit big with youngsters there.
100%.
You should explore it.
100%, yeah. I mean, I have had comments on the comment section on YouTube as well. Like, you get them people from Bangladesh, or I've even had some from Brazil, Somalia, Kenya. People who saying, really love this, I understood it, and this impacted
Yeah, Abdul Latif
me a
in the
lot
next
and
one that
stuff and
you
whatnot.
get him in the next one if you want to target the Somali community.
You know, and you know what? It's a good thing that Trapstar 2. Whilst we were filming it over them 3 days as well, like even whilst we were filming, me and Ash had these running through the scenes and stuff, and we had a couple of I think they were Somalian. I think they were just casually sat on the bench, and whilst we were filming, I got these lot to part of the scene was there for them to run. Basically, as though they were taking a chase. So whilst they were taking a chase, Somali brothers were just casually just chilling on the bench. Yeah, they started legging it as well. They thought Ash had these lot were chasing them. Like chill.
in reality,
Why you running for? Don't think we're just filming in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you filming? What are you filming? So we showed them Trapstar Part 1, and they were really happy about it. And they took my details and stuff and whatnot. And they're like, "Can we be a part of Part 3?" That's cool, not a problem. Doors always open for anyone, not a problem. Do you know what I mean? If you feel like it's going to keep you off the streets, and everyone that got involved in Part 2, alhamdulillah, enjoyed it.
If you have a godfather position,
Yeah.
that's your man right there.
Imam Shakir's already in Part 3
Imam
anyway. He
Shaq,
hasn't got
bro. It's not Imam Shakir, it's Imam
You know
Shaq.
he's got
the big Shaq.
It's shirky terminologies now. Yeah, be careful.
Imam Shakir's already in Part 3 anyway. That's no
That's a given, yeah.
negotiation.
He's good at acting as well, akhi.
No
I
negotiation.
can vouch for him. Khair, inshallah. So, where you are at right now, what's the position? You're making this 20-minute movie. It is really a short film.
Kinda short
and then
film, yeah.
long term, what's the plan now then?
Long term, to be honest, I don't have one as of yet, but it's just more or less like what comes out from the ones that I've already got at the moment. If it's good and it goes well, then 100% I'll carry on with it and I'll change it. I don't do much of collaboration with people. Only thing is because sometimes you'd rather keep yourself to yourself, and you don't have no problems. You're not on no one's timings. It's all based on your own timing. Do you know what I mean? And you won't have no problems. So I just keep myself to myself. But what I want to do is basically do Part 2, Part 3, probably a Part 4, and then finish it. And then probably start on a different topic. Or probably even drop a movie as well. And if people want to see a movie, then 100% I'm all for it. I'll literally go out of my way and then create one, inshallah. It's not that hard to create a storyline and do exactly what Rapman did, try a story. But this will be the Muslim version, Islamic version. And people probably enjoy it. Who knows? Do you know what I mean?
So, do you see yourself like an artist, a director, a musician? How?
Without blowing my own trumpet, I'll say all in one.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
What-
I
what's their name?
redirect
Is
it.
there a name for that?
What do you call it?
Producer? I don't know.
Triple threat, I think. I think that's what
Triple threat. They call it what? A director, producer. I don't know what the third.
I have no idea. Yeah,
But you like all those angles.
I like all of my angles. Yeah, I've got a vision basically. So when you watch Trapstar Part 2, that basically has been my vision for the past 2-3 months of literally creating it basically. So yeah, I understand it a bit more, inshallah.
Oh, khair. And we just usually wrap it up with some form of, due to your experiences, things that you've gone through, position you're in now, what kind of advice you see best for maybe youth watching, adults, whoever's watching.
For the youth that are watching, to be honest with you, what kind of upsets me the most is what's happening nowadays on social media and TikTok. A lot of people, they're going through a lot of rough patches because they're seeing other people living a good lifestyle. And nowadays people are posting on social media for validation. And that's a very big thing. Even like married couples, for example, they're posting their wives and stuff. What's the word for it? The youth. It's the youth, isn't it?
Boy.
Yeah. They haven't got no gira. There's no jealousy. There's no protective jealousy. So majority of the marriages nowadays, they're not going ahead. The statistics are high. The divorce rates are high.
Yeah.
They're seeing other marriage couples and everything and be like, I want this lifestyle, or I want to be like this, or I want to be like that. There's jealousy, hatred and stuff and whatnot, and people going back and forth on it. And as for the youngsters, you got people that are listening to the music industry. I don't want to mention no names, but you and I both know who are the artists nowadays that are kind of leading them astray, even within UK. Do you know what I mean? Because the last thing I want is backlash and people come back to me and saying, "Oh, you mentioned so and so's name, or he's not like this, or he's not like that," and everything. Do you know what I mean? It's only thing that we can do is just pray for him. Just pray for them, guide them, see them face to face, and everything. Like, brother, how is everything? Like, what I wanted, basically, is from Trapstar is get other artists involved, be a part of Trapstar, change your whole narrative. I'm trying to show you that we can do music as well, exactly the same way you are, yeah, but the Islamic way. Especially if you're a Muslim. Leave a good legacy behind so people can remember you by, basically. Do you know what I mean? The last thing you want is people to start talking negatives and saying, you know what, this guy was like this guy was like that, and, you know, his lifestyle was like this. Because the moment you die, that's it. There's no turning back. There's literally no turning back. All the music that you've left behind, all the videos, even for brothers and sisters as well. I'm pretty sure you've heard about that one sister that passed away in East London.
No.
She had a car crash and she passed away in Dubai.
No, recently.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was about a couple of months ago. Yeah, I think she was from East London and she passed away in Dubai in a car crash. Her family immediately posted on social media, if you have any videos of her, please can you report them or delete them, and report her TikTok account. And I think she was an influencer as well. What can
Influencing in
you
the
doing
wrong
that? I wouldn't say anything like whether it was wrong way or good way or a bad way, whatever, but the family had to do that immediately. Do you know what I mean? Why last minute? Do you know what I mean? You're supposed to be doing this right now whilst you're still alive. You need to be very careful with what you're posting. Is it good? Is it going to benefit anyone?
What's your
You know
intention?
what I mean?
behind it?
What's your intention behind it? Where you getting from it? You just want likes, validation of people to say, to confirm and say, you know what, I'm living a happy lifestyle. Can you just double tap it just to make sure, just to confirm that you like what I'm doing? That's all it is, basically. That's what social media is all about. Do you know what I mean? But
Jazakallah khair. Hafid, last
That's it.
Ashef, before you finish, just some recitation of some ayats of the Quran, please. Short recitation.
short recitation, yeah. Put me on the spot there. I haven't got much of a good voice, but I'll read. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا صدق الله العظيم.
Barakallah feek, bro. Jazakumullah khair.
Allah.
And may Allah bless all your activities and,
Ameen.
you know, your visions, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah
Barakallah
khairan,
feek,
bro.
akhi. Assalamu
Wa
alaikum.
alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And we'll catch up on the next one, inshallah.